When I was little, I was often left alone at night. Perhaps that's why they let me have a dog. My dad was a truck driver, and my mom often worked night shifts at the hospital as a nurse. Once again, when Mom closed the door behind her, I locked all the locks and even put on the chain. I checked all the windows in the house, all but one small one were locked. I left that window open to let some air in. Then, as usual, I went to bed, and my dog crawled under the bed and snored peacefully. That night I fell asleep quickly, but in the middle of the night, a strange dripping sound woke me up. It seemed like I hadn't turned off the tap in the bathroom. I was too scared to go and check. I just reached under the bed and felt my dog licking me. It calmed me down so much that I fell asleep again right away. I woke up from that dripping sound 5 more times, and each time I calmed down when my dog licked my hand from under the bed. Finally, I got so annoyed that I decided to go check the bathroom. The sound grew louder as I approached the bathroom. And there I stood at the bathroom door, turning on the light. A scream got stuck in my throat. My dog was tied to the shower by its tail, and blood was dripping from its throat, making that awful sound. When I managed to look away from this horrible scene, I saw a message written in blood on the mirror: "I like the taste of your fingers." My heart froze with horror, but I decided not to stay idle. Thinking it might be something supernatural, I quickly began to inspect the house. Ahead of me lay a series of horrifying discoveries that fundamentally changed my life. Every corner of the house seemed permeated with a sinister atmosphere, as if at the gates of a twisted hell. I realized that this creature was no random guest. Its presence seeped through the walls like the cold breath of death. As I explored the house, I discovered more and more strange signs of its presence. Objects moved on their own, shadows lurked in the corners of rooms, and the air was filled with an inexplicable smell of decay. At one point, I even felt like invisible eyes were following my every move. As I continued to explore the house, I found traces of ancient symbols and strange rituals drawn on the walls and floors. It was something completely incomprehensible, and I realized I was dealing with forces beyond my understanding. With each step, I felt the unknown entity getting closer. Its presence filled me with horror and despair, but I couldn't stop. I needed to unravel the mystery of this place and understand how this creature was connected to my home and my family. Finally, I found myself in a dark, forgotten room hidden deep within the house. Here, amidst the dust and rubble, I found an ancient amulet covered in mysterious symbols. As I picked it up, I felt the air fill with energy, and my hands began to shake with an inexplicable tension. It was only then that I realized I had become part of something much more powerful and dangerous than anything I had ever encountered. And my next steps could determine the fate not only of myself, but of everyone who had ever crossed the threshold of this cursed house. With the amulet in my hands, I felt a mysterious energy beginning to envelop me, like a stream of unknown power, leading me deeper into the mysteries of this house. Suddenly, the room lit up, and I saw before me the image of a strange creature, an ancient spirit, the guardian of this house. The creature was not friendly. It let out a cry, and in the next moment it lunged at me, its sinister claws closing in on me. I felt the blow, but at the last moment, I managed to dodge, barely avoiding a horrible death. In a panic, I jumped to my feet and rushed to the window, finding the strength to open it and escape outside. Suddenly, a blow knocked me off my feet, and I fell to the ground, losing consciousness as the monster attacked me again. When I came to, I found myself lying on the hard ground, surrounded by the darkness of night. My heart was pounding in my chest, and the horrible cries of the creature still echoed in my ears. Trying to recover from the shock, I looked up and saw the twinkling stars in the night sky. Feeling the danger, I stood up and, panicking, ran away from the house as fast as my strength allowed. Behind me, I heard the growling and menacing steps of the monster, which pursued me in the darkness. Once I was safe in the fresh air, I turned around and saw that the monster couldn't cross the threshold of my house. It stood there, in the shadows, emitting sounds of anger and disappointment. Sharp sensations and adrenaline still surged through my veins as I reached the nearest house and called for help. But even as the police arrived and began their investigation, my mind kept returning to the dark creature chasing me in the night. I realized that my house was entangled in magic and secrets, and that my adventures were just beginning, and I resolved not to stop until I unraveled the mystery of this place and put an end to its sinister curse.